it was helpful to follow along, as you said, the numbers with your written, so thank you for submitting that. Mike Suley, thank you for being with us. You are did I pronounce your last name correct?
Yes, you did.
I hate when people mispronounce mine, so I'm humble enough to ask to verify. From the Allegheny County Board of Property Assessment Appeals, thank you for joining us, and the floor is all yours.
Okay, Chairperson Muth, thank you for inviting me, and good day to Senator Williams, Senator Fontana, and Senator Costa. I'm coming from a different perspective. Over the last 30 years, I've been on the other side of this issue regarding the administration of the assessment system in Allegheny County. I was part of the oversight of 2 court-ordered reassessments. Allegheny was ordered to conduct a reassessment in 2001 and 2012. For some reason, I ended up being the only person in charge of 2 of those court-ordered reassessments. Sleepless nights, okay? Also, I served as manager of the assessment office for Allegheny County for 6.5 years. And I've been on the Board of Property Assessment 2 terms, once in the 90s. And in the 90s, I want everyone to know, the common level ratio was an issue, and commercial buildings were getting huge tax reductions in the 90s. And again, it was publicized, and it's here we go again, 20-some years later, 25 years later. I was also a consultant in the Joe Free versus Allegheny County common level ratio lawsuit. That is when there was a correction to the CLR, as it is known, and it had a huge impact on the tax refunds that are being issued now. I'm just going to give it from my perspective. Over the last 30 years, it's Groundhog Day in Pennsylvania. Each year, I've been in court 30 years on these issues, and all I can tell you, this is how it works. Counties decide not to reassess. Someone sues the county and wins in every case. They always win. The court orders a reassessment, and it's almost like going into receivership when the court says you do this, or tax bills don't go out. It happens over and over again. That is the present system that we use now. Pennsylvania, in my opinion, needs a total overhaul. This is long overdue. 49 states require cyclical reassessments. Pennsylvania does not. Counties can go on for decades without value adjustments. Butler County, which borders Allegheny County, hasn't had a reassessment since 1969. If I got a team together and went to Butler County, the common level ratio would be reduced to 1%. Westmoreland County hasn't had a reassessment since 1972, and that's okay, because counties can opt in if they choose. If I could, I would get a team together and sue Westmoreland County and lower the common level ratio to 1%. I'm confident that many counties have an artificially high rate. Pennsylvania uses a base year system where you have your reassessment and those values remain frozen for decades. And the base year system, I was in court years ago, a common pleas court judge, R. Stanton Wettig, in court said that the base year was a figment of the imagination of the General Assembly. Maybe he was right, because it isn't working. Counties can choose to reassess whenever they want. When they do not, there's a court order. In other words, tax bills will not go out unless you reassess the county under a court order. That's the way it is. It's inevitable. Politicians have claimed that the base year is consistent and stable. It is not. It is a house of cards, as we can see what has happened in the last 3 years. State law mandates a complicated annual equalization factor, which is known as the common level ratio. Everyone uses the term, but the common level ratio is only used in appeals. On average, in the Commonwealth, only 2% of the people appeal and end up applying the common level ratio. That means everyone else is stuck, 98% of the population. The assessments are essentially frozen for decades. Just not fair. So let's get back to the common level ratio. The ratio is used to apply lower assessments to current market value in an appeal. And as we know, the ratio from the lawsuit can be subject to manipulation. If property values go up, the common level ratio must go down. And people are starting to realize how that works in Pennsylvania. I believe that an honest audit in most counties will conclude the CLR is overly inflated. It wasn't just Allegheny County. Here's how the Allegheny County appeal system has been in turbulence just for the last 3 years because of our lawsuit. In 2021, all the school districts and municipalities in Allegheny County filed appeals on these so-called underassessments. And they were successful in increasing the assessed value